Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits review on a very windy afternoon. Today, we'll get rid of that one. Today I'm reviewing this fella from Totally Brewed and their Papa Jangles Oreo Cookie Voodoo Stout. Now, funnily enough, at the Robin Hood Beer Festival I've actually had Papa Jangles Voodoo Stout before, but not the Oreo Cookies version of it. 4.5%. Got it from adventurebeer.com, a Nottingham based company, well, a one-man operation bit really, going around getting beer from all the different breweries and then delivering, but delivering as well as picking the beers up, and that is using your noodle. If you've got to deliver beers to the top of Nottinghamshire, call in and get beers off all the local breweries, pop back down. You know, it's a very clever concept. And the concept itself, the business model for me is brilliant, because if this was around the country, you'd be able to, for reviewing purposes, I like mixed cases. I can't be buying 12 beers just to get one bloody bottle. So to be able to spend 60 or 70 quid but get loads of different beers, none I've reviewed before, is an excellent way to go on. I mean, even if they sell out-of-date beers, it does not bother me. Out-of-date beers doesn't bother me in the slightest. If it's paying £6 or £7 a can, that bothers me. That's just because I'm a tight bleeder. I don't like paying out too much. And I ain't got the money to either. So, black pour. Shall we say a beige head. Massive aroma on the nose. Coffee, chocolate. So yes, I have had this at Nottingham Castle when the Beer Festival was last there. There was Totally Brewed and there's another company, another brewery. And you know, at the time I wasn't doing beer reviews. This was some years ago now. And obviously now I am. And there's a bloody coronavirus. Typical, isn't it? That's lovely. That goes down a treat. So it's funny with these guys, the artwork on the can is something to behold. Look at that artwork. These, along with Black Irish Brewery, do some fantastic artwork on their cans. And I will be supporting via Adventure Beer, because it saves me going out and actually doing the miles in my cogs. Hate travelling. And the price is just about the same anyway, so it saves me a hassle. But anyway, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah. So where these fellas are based, it's not actually in the cattle market, but it's next door to the cattle market in the Sneinton area of Nottingham. What we class as the Sneinton area. And I hadn't actually had an interview next door to where these were based. There's a company called Creative Roots Landscaping, and I had an interview with them for a team leader gardening job. And the work was my sort of work, but I just didn't feel it was the right job for me at the time. And it's not helping that my anxiety's through the roof at the moment, and little things seem massive at the moment. Apart from when I look at my wages, but that's something else, isn't it? Oh. I'm trying to get that Oreo cookie taste in if it's going to come out. Like all beers, it takes a while to get going. You know, get the taste down. Obviously, you can tell it's a stout. You've got a chocolate coffee, roastedness, and that, and very nice too. 4.5%. Yep, tastes like 4.5%. It's vegan friendly. Now, I'm not really an Oreo cookie fan. My wife likes them, but I don't. Definitely got some biscuit then on the taste. It's surprising because I I did a rundown of what's on at Robin Beer Festival, looking at Nottingham breweries and that, and I'd forgot all about these guys. And it wasn't until I went in the bakehouse, which is an artisan baking shop on Matt Sherwood, in Sherwood, just round the corner from me, about 400 yards that way, and we do some amazing bread and food, but they also sold beers at one stage. So I went in, spent 50 quid, and picked up a fiver a can, you know, not the cheapest, but hey, you have sometimes you have to pay. And had their Imperial Cereal Stout, and it was how much was it? £7.25 for the offering. But bloody hell, it was good. Yes, it hit the spot. Yes, I was rather intoxicated afterwards. Gotta be good tonight. Wife comes home. I can't be drunk tonight, so I'm going to do a few little reviews, see how it goes. Something to pass the evening on. Funny how you get bored. Although I'm going to do some gardening in a minute. I'm going to change into some clothes that aren't decent and do a bit of gardening. I've got just I need to set up do some seed trays, get some seeds out of the garden, and prepare for the autumn and winter period now, because we've lost the summer now. The summer's lost. If you haven't got stuff out now in your garden for flowering in the summer, you're going to struggle to get it flowering. Although that's not to say it won't, but it will be a struggle. I bought 5 bags of compost yesterday, just to be able to, just to be able to get some gardening done. It's a great time of the year. If the weather is not too sunny, it's a great time of the year to split plants if the weather's a bit wet and damp. So a little bit about Totally Brewing here, and it's actually on Adventure Beer's page. Thank God somebody's got some on the internet. Our launch was the culmination of years of home brewing. The desire to create a strong brand and product. Fair play to that. I'd love to do the same. And most importantly, a passion for making very good beer. Again, can't fault it. As a home brewer for more than 6 years, bloody hell, I've been home brewing for about 12 now. Not very good, obviously, but had a strong knowledge of what made a good pint. Fair play to that. It took a win at a national home brewing competition to give him the confidence. Same as me, I need confidence. To take the leap again and turn professional. At our first professional competition, Slap the Face won gold at the Rail Ale Festival in 2014. In March 2015, we were voted Castle Rock New Brewer of the Year by their customers and staff. So it must have been the year after that that the Voodoo Stout came out. If anybody from Totally Brewed's watching this, please correct me. I'm sure I've drank, obviously not the Oreo cookie version, but Papa Jangles Voodoo Stout. I'm sure I drank it at the Castle, and it'd be the last time it was at the Castle, which it won't, obviously not this year, to be 2017. We had an incredible first year and have gone from strength to strength in the subsequent years. And on Totally Brewed's website, on the page at Adventure Beer, they've got 2 on sale at the moment, because they come and go quite all the time. Well, they've run out of stock, that's the problem. Oh, bugger me. So they've got Totally Brewed Mitch Connor, whoever Mitch Connor is, and Totally Brewed the can from Del Monte. And it's quite funny, that one, because that one there was actually a little bit of a competition to name the can. And I mean, I won the other week one, but I didn't win on this one. God knows what I came up with. So there. So going down a tree. Very impressed with the artwork on the can. Impressed by the taste and the backstory. Do love a good story. I love a story where companies stay reasonably small, bring the pennies in, and don't go too big too quick. A lot of companies lose that. They expand too quick, and they're making beer but making no profit. Where keep it small, make profit, enjoy life. It's got to be the way, isn't it? definitely getting a taste of biscuit in the taste now. That wind is so annoying. Got the hose pipe on the garden because it's dry in the garden now. And obviously wind dries out the garden as much as the sun does. And a combination of wind and sun is lethal, because it dries everything out so quickly. But if you live on the floodplain, that's probably a good thing. If, like me, you live on top of a hill, it's not so good. So, even at room temperature, this time of the year, it's 20 degrees in here. So it's comparable to the room temperature in the winter months. And again, depends where you live, I suppose, and how warm your house is. If you're like me, it's freezing, but that's because we can't afford much, you know what I mean? I'm joking. I do have a sense of humour. And I used to have a brutal sense of humour, but I've calmed it down over the years. I'm a really nice person now, for the most part. And when my anxiety disappears totally, well, back to that normal person. I had shots of it yesterday. A mate came round while I was working, and we were chatting, and part of the real me started to come back out again. That one that's been suppressed for quite a while. And yes, there'll be quite a surprise on the cards when that version actually really comes out. Sometimes you take a look at, you walk, you know, you stand back from yourself, you look at yourself and you think, how am I like this? How has a mental health issue made me like this? And there are more reasons behind it than what I can say. But that person is there, and that person will be coming back out soon. Oh, so going down a tree. Glad to be drinking Nottingham stuff from Sneinton. I was born in St Anne's, next door to Sneinton. So Sneinton's NG2, if I'm right, I think it is anyway. I know the Meadows is NG2. West Bridgeford's NG2 as well. And I was born in NG3, St Anne's. Actually, not far from, say, the Sneinton border. A place called Plantagenet Street in the day, which was a haunted house, from what I was told. I wouldn't know myself, because I was a baby at the time, wouldn't know, but apparently it was. Although I'll tell you one thing. So, we had builders in next door, builder bloke, lovely bloke. And I says to him, what's next door got in his bloody ass that sounds like there's a ball dropping and rolling across the floor? He says, it does my fucking head in with it. Pardon my French. And I says, you hear it loads, you sat in our front room and all of a sudden you hear this ball dropping, rolling along, bouncing, rolling on the floor. He says, it's the same noise. He says, what's he got in there? He says, nothing. He says, don't tell me lies. He's definitely got something in there that's doing that. I says, I watched him go out one day and I could hear it then. He says, there's nothing in his house. And I've watched him go out and all of a sudden you hear this ball dropping and rolling across the floor. 2 minutes later, dropping again, rolling across the floor. Such a distinctive noise, you can definitely tell what it is, and he's not in. And it's like, what the obviously there's lots of things in the world we don't really know, and there's lots of things in the world that unless you can prove in a way that people can see and believe, you know, to help everyone but understand. Are there aliens on the earth? Well, I only have to look across the road at the family across the road. The woman's the worst, most horrible person. Although she gets the bloke, so she must be good for something, I suppose. Because she ain't got a personality. And she's not nice looking, so she must be good at something else. But that's being horrible, that is. That's not nice. I do apologise for that. But I've had 18 years of it, and yeah, she's a truly nasty piece of work. But there are a lot of nasty pieces of work about in this world, and long may they get their comeuppance. I'm sure Donald Trump at the next election will get his comeuppance. because he's pissed off so many people in America. I mean, he might have his supporters, but God, they're not all blind, surely. And you know, like when he says about when they start looting, we'll start shooting. I think, what a childish thing to say. There's a lot of that about people who say childish comments in power. I mean, you'd say something a bit more diplomatic. Look, no rooting. We understand what you're demonstrating for, but there's no reason for you to loot, because it just makes you look bad. What it does, it detracts from all your demonstrations. And I watched in America, and it's funny how the social media and the mainstream media, rather, not social media, mainstream media didn't report on it because it's not interesting. So this was all over Facebook, and you had the idiots starting to loot, and there was basically a line of black people protecting shops, saying, no, fuck off, no, go away, you're not looting these shops, protecting the shops. Now for me, each and every one of them is a superstar, because yes, you're demonstrating what happened in America with that man who got killed by the police, but you're doing it in the right way. You're protecting your local neighbourhood shops. We're only there to make a bit of money, you know, and the looters make everybody else look bad, and then it ruins it. Same in Britain. The idiots who are wrecking all the statues, it's the same sort of thing. You know, you can't change the past. You learn from the past and you get better. Anyway, that's enough of the preaching. Let's carry on with the beer. Absolute belter of a stout. I love the complex flavours in there. The biscuity malt, coffee, chocolate, that roastiness. I don't even know what Oreo tastes like. I know it tastes biscuity, obviously, it's bloody biscuit. But the chocolatey part of it, is that in there? I'm no expert on Oreos, don't really eat them. But obviously if there's a biscuity aroma and taste, then obviously it's from that. And you definitely do get it. So I'm trying to be good over the next few weeks. I actually did a beer haul yesterday. Picked up 8 newbies, 6 wines, a can of hooch, the alcoholic lemonade, and some beer I've never heard of in my life. But yeah, I'm trying to get the levels down, because we're at such an overwhelming amount of beer on the beer wall at the back of me. And then I need to start going along looking at cans and dates, making sure nothing's overly out of date, because you forget as the months go on that some of the stuff you've got might be quite a bit out of date. Not that out of date stuff bothers me, which is why I love lowcostbeer.com, because I go to them for the short date and out of date stuff, and they have an amazing range on that site as well. So 2 sites I really like for me is adventurebeer.com, because it's local breweries in the East Midlands area, and it's free delivery if you order over a certain amount, and the bloke's a top class bloke and all. Not only that, but then there's also Low Cost Beer. I love them because it's short date, out of date stock, or even just stock that isn't selling, because sometimes stock doesn't sell because it hasn't got a name yet, or they've made too much and they can't get rid. It happens. And at least I can order from both of them sites. I try and go to Ocado, which is a great resource for beers, but you can't get on the bloody site because I'm not vulnerable. Well, I am. I'm actually vulnerable in some ways, but not in their ways. And you can't get on the site, which is disappointing, because I would have thought now, as the restaurants and pubs are opening, not all restaurants and pubs though. We went to Showcase today, and Chiquito, Frankie and Benny's, and the other place, can't remember its name, none of them were open. There was some other place open, but they weren't open. And I've spotted loads of pubs that still aren't open. If they're opening, maybe they've got to implement, it's all down to money, isn't it? Because it's all right implementing social distancing, but if you've got to start paying to put plastic things in between people, then that's where it gets the cost. And like spraying stuff down afterwards and wiping stuff down, all about costs. That's why when it's outside it's not as bad. People go, you go up to the table, quick spray, 30 seconds later, a minute later, it's dry. Next lot over, job's good. Obviously, in my job being a gardener, I know all about. You know, I've got my PA1 and PA6, which allows me to spray weed killers and all sorts of chemicals. And once you've sprayed it, especially in this sort of weather, 30 seconds later it's gone. Same as they're doing on roller coasters. They're spraying the roller coaster down, sending it round for a quick loop, bringing it back in, get on, go round, come off, spray it, send it round. And so what you'll find at theme parks over the next, well, this next, for however long this coronavirus is here, you will find that all theme parks will run at maximum capacity on all their, you know, they should anyway, maximum capacity at all roller coasters, because there's always going to be one that's going around on its own, just for the sense of safety, our safety, their safety, which is a good thing, because we all want to be safe, don't we? Oh my fucking gazebo. I hate the wind. I take it down, but it's such a bastard to put back up again. So I've undone one of the corners, so it's less of it to blow around. I've dropped it down so far. I haven't dropped it down to the floor because it's a swine when it's on the floor. It's only just above my hot tub. Definitely a new project. Build an area, basically like this beer room, like a semi-permanent area for the hot tub to sit in. And I might do hot tub beer reviews. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Yeah. Although I'll have a t-shirt on because I don't want people looking at my boobies. You know, get very paranoid about that. So, near Blackpool, Beige Head, good aromas of chocolate, coffee, roasty toasty aromas, and it goes all the way down with the addition of that biscuity taste that came in, biscuity malt or Oreo cookies probably. Not that I know what Oreo cookies taste like, so I don't really eat them. My wife would, she wouldn't drink this. But again, decent pints all the way down. Oh, that was nice, enjoyed it. So out of 5 then for this little fella from Totally Brewed, as you can see just there. For me, a great aroma, great taste, really satisfying. Take your time drinking it, of course. I mean, if you're paying, I've paid some up to a £5 and beyond for some of these down here. And if you're paying that much, take your time drinking it, like you would in a pub. You don't want to quaff it down. Take your time, enjoy. If you paid the money for it, you want to be enjoying your beer, don't you? And that's it for this beer review. Out of 5 then. For me, 4.5 out of 5. Really went down well. Totally enjoyed it. And that's it. And now I'm going to do some gardening because I've had 2 beers and I'm feeling quite chilled out. And I need to crack on, do a bit of gardening. Well, that's what I think I'm going to do. When I get out there in the wind, I might think, F it, and go and sit down inside and watch TV. But hey-ho, that's how things happen. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers.